Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. So look at this, we got us a green light. It means the old Energizer is fully charged. So it's about 12:30, 26.5 degrees centigrade, 64% humidity, and it feels like 64% humidity. It is August 4th, Tuesday, and that's 80 degrees even. It's a little warm and uncomfortable. It's supposed to make it into the 90s today. So here we are. A couple of things going on at once. The Wall project, right? Pink Floyd, The Wall. Anyway, spoke to a friend who's got a business installing gutters, and I asked if they knew of anybody to do any concrete work or cement work or block work, and they had a name, and it seems that the guy's available. I always worry about it when somebody's immediately available, but anyway, so I'm gonna have him come over and give me a price and see what we can, how long it'll take, and if we can't put this thing together and get that done with. Okay, second thing, I got to tell you guys, the only way to work on these engines is to pull them right from the bike. Take you less than 45 minutes to get the engine off the bike. You're looking at 4 bolts on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're looking at the bolt here. Looking at a couple of bolts for the exhaust. The wiring, you got to undo a ground. That pops right out. That clips right off. And then the throttle cable, which is where? Anyway, somewhere around here is the throttle cable. And you just undo a Phillips head on the carburetor, and that slides right off. So honestly, barely a half hour to get that off. You guys remember my complaints on this engine was that it's leaking gas, and I got this thing about gas leaking all over me as I drive around. Probably some of you guys, probably most of you guys, maybe even all you guys watch Udizzy. Udizzy1969. He's got this channel, and just to torment him a little bit, he's on Tina's channel. Udizzy will kill me. Anyway, so he and Tina, or actually Tina and Udizzy, have this channel on YouTube, and he works on a lot of these bikes. Hey Udizzy, you upset yet? And he said about the engine that comes on this thing, it's like, he didn't have too much nice to say about it. He says they leak out of everywhere. More leaks than you can shake a stick at. And he seems to be right. First leak. The carburetor. Obviously, I mean, 2 bolts. This thing slides right off. You just twist the throttle and the thing pops right out. I mean, this thing is a real piece of cake to work on. Actually, it goes this way. Right, piece of cake to work on. It's all obvious when you go to look at it. Anyway, gas was leaking out of the bowl, and turns out that it doesn't turn off. I checked the seat; it's all clean. Everything's all nice. But if you blow into this thing with it like this. So if you blow down here, use a hose. You don't want to ingest too much gasoline. It'll make you stupid. So anyway, and give you cancer. So don't do that. Don't drink gasoline. So anyway, if you blow down here when it's like this, you should obviously hear the air flowing right out. But if you turn it over, just like that, and blow into it, there should be no air that comes out. In the case of this one, it does. It leaks by. So I checked the needle valve. I checked the seat. It all looks good. I cleaned it and put it back together again, and it looks fine, but it's leaking by. So this carburetor is crap. By the way, just That's who made the carburetor. So that's problem one for leaking gas. Problem number two. Looks like if you put too much gas in it, this whole, right, you see the way the glass is all screwed up and all. So if you put much, if you go much more than a half a tank and you lean this thing at all, and you guys could kind of see the, right, it leaks gas. And finally, when you go underneath, I don't know if you guys could see that. Yeah, you guys can see it dripping right in the center of the screen there. And I think that's where the hose goes into the gas tank. So this thing literally is leaking gas from like everywhere. So I got to get the gas out of it and clean up the mess. About taking the tank off, it looks like you got 2 bolts here, 1, 2. Then I'm not sure what else, oh God, holds this tank on. I'm not sure if they got something going on here or here. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to spend some time poking around under there. But yeah, generally speaking, this thing like leaks gas like no tomorrow. One of two things one could do with it. Obviously, you can try to fix it. You can just replace the whole engine, which, by the way, Udizzy recommends. He says these engines are kind of crap. Or one can pull off the gas tank. Right, that's just a fake gas tank, and I only got a couple of minutes until that container gets full. So, and put something else on it. And they got those little black gas tanks. They're like $25 with the valve, 26, less than 30. Let's go with less than 30 with the valve. One could put one of these guys on there, right? Won't look too bad. The black kind of goes with the bike. It's got an on and off right in the back of the gas tank. So one could do something like that. This bike, I'm into it so far for $350, the original purchase price. Plus, I just bought a carburetor. Carburetor's cheap. $20 delivered. Hopefully, I have it by the weekend. It's coming up from Florida. It looks like they already mailed it. I'm tracking it. So, carburetor, which takes me to $345. Once again, I'm not sure if I'm going to smash this gas tank on it or not. If I do, you can see, oh wait, 350 and 20 is 370. If I smash that gas tank on it, I'm at 400. And the last thing that still needs some attention is that chain guard isn't quite right. The clutch chain guard. I don't know if you guys have ever taken a burn from one of those things. Trust me, you really want to keep that plastic guard on. Should you crash the bike and it's lying on you, at least you get a few minutes for the plastic to melt, or a few 30 seconds for the plastic to melt before it starts burning into you. And as the plastic's melting, it's taking some of the heat off of that metal disc. Because without it, I mean, that centrifugal clutch gets hot, especially if you're off-roading it. It gets really hot, and trust me, if you put your leg up against it, you'll hear a nice little sizzle, and then you'll feel a nice sharp pain as it's giving you a branding, you know, like cattle branded. All right, so that's about it. Hey, Udizzy, how's that for a Predator motor to smash onto it? 13 horsepower, huh? I actually have another one, and it's over there behind all that plywood and so forth. I think I'm going to try to get that gas tank off, try to figure out what its problem is, try to put together. And the reason why I'm doing that, though probably not practical, probably the most practical thing to do would be to smash that on there. But you try to learn, you try to see what they did wrong, you try to understand this type of stuff. So when you're building something, you could say, oh, I don't want to do it like that. I'll screw it up just like, you know, like they did. Like, it was on that bike, that Warrior two-wheeler mini bike, right? I don't want to do it like this because it leaks. I saw that in the video. All right, folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and remember to get out there and enjoy all your days. You got to have fun, right? You don't know how long it's going to go, so get out there and have some fun. Take care now, folks. Bye.